right, so here we go. Off camera, I did put in a little former that goes in the back. And so that's there. In fact, I think I forgot to put little tabs back there. We'll see what happens. But this is all ready to go. And I also did a couple things. I put a straight triangle behind that bulkhead to make it nice and strong so that it'll be vertical. I also have decided to put this piece on first. And what I did was put a right angle there where it butts up against the bulkhead back there. And what that does is allow me to key it and put it in as far as it's supposed to go. See that little white spot there that I'm pointing out? That's how far the little turtle deck area back there actually fits. I was wondering why that was white. Well, that's because that fits right in like so. Boom. And right up against the back seat. And then my triangle holds up against the bulkhead. So that's to make that nice and strong. And I think it's a good idea. So what I first do is glue this in place. Now, granted, there's, I'm sure, 8,000 ways to do this. This is the way I decided to do it. But this, to me, after a lot of test fitting, seemed to make the most sense. So that's going to be nice and straight, and then I should be able to slide this on and glue it in place. Easy freaking peasy. So, first things first, just add a little glue to this thing and slide it on, or put it on to the rear end of that bulkhead. Doing this all in real time so you can see, how long it takes, and it's very simple. It's a nice short video. But I put a little glue along that flat surface, and then I put a little glue along the edges on the paper where the platform is going to fit. And then I put a little along that triangle. Again, that triangle is not in the kit. That's just something I'm doing to try to give it a little added strength, because it helps form the rear end of the fuselage as well. So that's why I'm a little bit being careful. So now all I'm doing is adding this on and lining it up. And it just takes a little time. You put it in. I've already done this many times to make sure it's straight. And you do a lot of eyeballing and making sure the glue is contacting and making sure that it's straight. And that's why I drew those lines, to give me an idea of the verticalness of it. So I'm spending a lot of time just holding it, making sure it is vertical with the rest of the body. You can see here I kind of adjust it a little bit, and that's fine. That's just what this is made for, and this is why this glue is so wonderful. And then once you got her, you just sort of hold it in place, and it starts to tack up immediately. And pretty soon you'll have a nice solid piece of kit there. And this is, again, I'm not sure if this is the way the designer thought you'd put it together, but it seems to me it makes sense in terms of getting everything on there. You'll have a form for the turtle deck. You'll also have this piece that goes back square into the back of the fuselage, giving it a nice straight little run. So I think this isn't a bad idea. But you can see most of the time, this is all stuff I usually edit out. Most of the time is just spent sitting there making sure everything is straight. So I'm eyeballing that, making sure that sucker is parallel and straight with those lines. Because if this is wrong, of course, the neck skin will not fit. And you'll also start putting in a twist or putting in an angle for your tails when you put them on, and then they'll look horrible. So, it's important to do those things. So now what I did was spent probably 20 minutes testing fitting this up and down, back and forth, many, many times, and I was confident. So I put the glue on, and here's where it gets fun. There's glue all around the tabs, all the way around those pieces. You can see come around the edge. And I'm putting this on just how I practiced. And what's happening here, in retrospect, is the glue is softening the paper. So those little tines, those little teeth are no longer solid. They're starting to get soft. And I suddenly now can't get that piece over that bulkhead in the back. Now I got it. Now I'm thinking I'm home free. I'll start wiping off some extra stuff. But then I'm noticing that the bottom is not together. So this glue is softening, and this is normal, there's nothing wrong with the glue, but it's softening everything. And you can see that the little teeth are starting to fold in. And you can see that I'm getting to a point where I cannot get a good seal all the way around. So I spend the next few minutes here trying desperately to make things work. This is very frustrating because you've test fit it. And again, this is something I wouldn't even show ordinarily, but this is an important thing to show you how you can mess up. And remember, this is supposedly a very simple model. And this might be my inability to do it the right way. But at this point, the paper is getting soft, and notice the edges are starting to roll over. Look at that, right where my thumb is on the rear piece, the rear skin. It's starting to fold back on itself. And this piece at this point is never going to work. I'm trying to get it on there thinking maybe I can make it work, but it's sliding around. The glue does two things. It makes things slippery. It also makes it a little bit thicker, so it does three things. I feel like a Monty Python sketch. But it also softens. So it softens, it makes things slippery, it softens, and it does the third thing that I can't remember. So, and you can see the edges now. Look at the edge on the underside, how it's not matching up, and how no matter how hard I try, it just kind of slides in on itself. And you'll have this really bad looking seam. So at this point, I'm realizing I'm completely shafted, and it's not going to work no matter how hard I try. And so at some point here, I get the bright notion to just pull the thing apart before it sticks somewhere where I can't pull it off and I'll damage something. And now what I do here later, I'll show you what I'm going to try to do. We'll see if it works. I'm thinking that top bulkhead needs to come off, because then I can put this thing in without interference, and then I can slide the head in at the end later. Shouldn't have tried to put it all in at once. Yeah, here's where I'm going. Okay, take it off, dummy, because it's not going to fly. Oh, maybe I'm still trying. What a moron. There I go. Now all I did was make sure the glue was off. No hard done. Now, two problems. Those little tines I'm pulling on are soft, and the edge on the other skin is soft, so I've had to kind of repair them a little bit, and I'll show you what I'm going to try to do. I think we can salvage it, but this is actually kind of a good video to show you what can happen just even after test fitting.